Hi everyone, welcome to Clipboard classes. Now this is a follow-up video to one I did about synonyms. So I'll try and put the link somewhere here, or maybe here, or maybe here. I think it'll be over here. So if you want to check out that video, here you are. This is going to be a follow-up and we're going to learn more about synonyms and when to use big difficult words and when to use a simple form. Okay, let's get started. Synonyms are a great way to learn new vocabulary, but there's a time and a place to use them. While they can be good for learning new vocabulary and make us sound smarter, they might also bring us some problems when we use them. So let's look at them today. If my friend went to the zoo and told me about a big elephant, I might think it was this big. But if he said the elephant was huge, I might think it was this big. The elephant is big means it's big, but the elephant was huge changes how I feel about the size of the elephant. The words big and huge mean the same thing, but they have a different impact on the size scale. So learning different synonyms help us to describe exactly how we want the other person to feel. Let's think about books. I hope you like reading books. If you don't, you should read more. Books are great. If we take an example of books, all the books we read would be really boring if they just said it was big, it was small, it was beautiful. Take a look at this. Tom was a small boy. He sat at a massive table on a huge chair that was too big for him. On the table in front of him was an enormous plate with a humongous mountain of food on it. The steak was so gigantic that he thought it must come from an elephant. And then take a look at this that doesn't use any synonyms, just uses the word big. Tom was a small boy. He sat at a big table on a big chair that was too big for him. On the table in front of him was a big plate with a big mountain of food on it. The steak was so big, he thought it must have come from an elephant. You can see that synonyms in books and reading are so important to help us feel the words. If it's just big, 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 we're going to put the book down and we won't finish it. Let's talk about students now. I'm a teacher and sometimes students like to sound clever, which is fine, but for students, learning the big words can be a way to try and impress the teacher. Now, I have caught out many students who learn one or two of these big fancy words and try to use them, but they don't really understand what the word means. I had a student before and I asked that student about the book. What did he think about the book? And he said, well, teacher, I found it quite perplexing. Now, just no, okay? Just no. You don't need to use that word. It's a very, very complicated, big word. It's overkill. You don't need to do that. You could say, I found it interesting. I found it boring. I found it exciting. All of these different words you could find, but don't try and use big, fancy synonyms just to sound clever, because most of the time you don't understand it and the teacher will catch you out and the teacher will make you look silly or stupid in front of your classmates. Now, using big words could lead to confusion when you're on holiday. Many people, when they visit different countries, they will use English when they're traveling. If a Chinese man goes to France, he will probably speak English to the French people. Now, if he's learned many different synonyms and big complex words, when he uses them in France, he might not be understood. And you learn a language so people can understand you. So when you're on holiday, it might be a good idea to stick to the basics so that you can be understood and avoid confusion. Now, native speakers in general don't use these big complex words every day. If I go to the shop to buy something and the shopkeeper says, "It's a nice day today," I won't say, "Oh, it's radiant." I'll just say, "Yes, it is." Okay, we normally, day to day is just very simple English. We would use these bigger words and these difficult words depending on the situation we're in. So let me show you some examples of when we would use these words. Job interviews, speaking with older generations, speaking with intellectuals, university lectures, politics, at work. So, conclusion time. There is no definite answer as to when to use big words and when not to use big words. It's all about being able to be understood and get your point across to the other person. There's no point in me telling a baby about this delectable apple when I should just say it's a tasty apple. If I say delectable apple, I won't be understood. But if I say it's a tasty apple, I definitely will be understood. Don't take this as an excuse not to learn new words, because I promise you, every new word you learn, you will find a situation where you can use the word. And you will find a chance to use it. Okay everybody, thanks for watching this video. Just remember, this is my opinion and my advice about when to use big words and when not to use these big words. If you have some different ideas, please leave a comment below. I'd be really interested to see what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.